A good Friday afternoon. This is Caleb here with Indiana Weather Online, Indiana Weather Network. We are live for a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. A very strong storm has developed over the past 10 minutes, has some very strong straight line winds associated with it, up to 70 miles per hour, moving right along I 70, coming up on I 74, southwest of Indianapolis. Strongest winds right now coming into 6 Point, just outside of Canby, coming directly towards the International Airport, towards Speedway, Fairview Station, and downtown Indianapolis. You can see the strongest winds right here along the leading edge, just south of 6 Points, just basically at the end of the runway on the International Airport in southwest Indianapolis, just north of Canby and West Station. Winds up to 70 miles per hour associated with this thunderstorm. Widespread severe weather is not expected today. However, this storm has been exhibiting some very strong winds associated with likely in a very intense downburst on the leading edge of the storm. Expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees is expected. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, as well as a tornado possible. There is a tornado possible tag within this storm. There's some broad rotation along the leading edge. As I hit play here, you can see a little bit of a hook on the airport radar just north of Canby, just south of I 70. A little bit of hook right there. You can watch it play out right there, associated with this damaging winds right in here. Area of rotation just to the north of Canby, kind of right on the leading edge. It has bowed out a little bit over the last couple of scans, but there is still a little bit of rotation being exhibited here along the leading edge. Going back, switching radars to the National Weather Service's radar here in Indianapolis, you can see the strongest winds right at the airport. Going to be coming directly over the airport, but also right over the National Weather Service in Indianapolis as well. We're going to get some really good data from the storm as exactly how strong the winds are going to be gusting here. We're actually going to know exactly how strong probably in the next 5 to 10 minutes as the airport samples these winds here. Probably a ground stop I'm going at the airport right now, I'd have to imagine. Winds up to 70 miles per hour, as well as a tornado possible with this storm. Area of rotation and strongest winds directly over the International Airport, southwest Indianapolis. This is going to come near Drexel Gardens, Fairview Station, and downtown Indianapolis, just south of Speedway. So if you're in downtown Indianapolis, now's the time to pick up any loose items you have and get to shelter as this severe thunderstorm is headed your way. This is moving northeast at currently 40 miles per hour. Winds up to 70 miles per hour, penny-size hail, as well as a tornado possible. There's some weak rotation, some broad rotation associated with the storm along the leading edge of the storm, currently near the Indianapolis International Airport. Here's a pocket here. These blues that you see on your radar, if I zoom in here for you, right in here. So the International Airport is right there where the X is. There's the radar sweep coming around. So the strongest winds are currently over the radar right now. Winds 70 plus right now near the airport is what we're getting here. We're going to see what it measures here officially over the next couple of minutes here. Let me switch to the airport radar just outside of town to give you another look at it here. Just exceptionally strong winds here moving near the airport, near 70 miles per hour along I-70, coming near I-74 and the I-74-70 interchange. Drexel Gardens, Fairview Station, Maywood, Belmont, Mount Jackson, Indianapolis downtown, all under the gun here from this severe thunderstorm. Winds up to 70 miles per hour, as well as a tornado possible. Cannot be ruled out within the storm. There's some broad rotation along the leading edge of this storm. All hazards are possible here, but damaging winds as well as that spin-up tornado can't be ruled out. Primary hazard, damaging winds of 70 miles per hour. I'm trying to get a camera pulled up here for you. However, the feeds are, well, let's just say NDOT cameras never work. So I'll try to get a feed for you here. I don't have any weather cameras in Indianapolis at the moment. They're not working currently. So this is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Does include downtown Indianapolis. Let me go ahead and turn back on our relative velocity here. Strongest winds directly over the International Airport right now. You can see we're getting sampled right at the airport. The National Weather Service's radar is just on the south side of 70 near the airport. If you ever driven, you see that a white ball along the highway. That's the Doppler radar there, coming right over the radar site and the National Weather Service's office here. A very intense thunderstorm. If you're in downtown Indianapolis, now's the time to pick up loose items and get to shelter. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning with 70-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible, as well as penny-sized hail moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. This is an extremely dangerous storm and a very intense thunderstorm as well. Torrential rainfall is also occurring within this storm as well. It won't last super long. Once it blows over, it's not a very wide storm, but it is a very impactful storm. Currently just east of Plainfield. Plainfield, you guys are okay. You're in the clear. Same with Mooresville. We'll likely see this warning trim back just a little bit as it moves solely towards Indianapolis. Counties included northeastern Morgan County, Hendricks County, and Marion County. Currently, the strongest winds are now moving primarily into Marion County, and we'll likely see the warning trim back out of Hendricks County as well as Morgan once everything is into Marion County. Currently, the strongest winds are in Marion County, southwestern Marion County, over the International Airport. This is going to move towards Speedway and downtown Indianapolis. Drexel Gardens, Ben Davis, Maywood, likely coming into Maywood right now. Same thing with Belmont and Mount Jackson, the airport. Radar is still catching up here a little bit. Here comes the next sweep coming around. We're likely going to see these strong winds start to stick out on the other side of the radar as this gust front is now moving through. Likely the strongest winds right in here on the other side of the radar, coming in the Drexel Gardens, Fairview Station, Sunshine Gardens, I-69, 74 interchange as well. Yep, there's the latest sweep. So the gust front is now on the other side of the radar, coming near Beech Grove and downtown Indianapolis. You have about just a couple minutes before the strongest winds are impacting downtown Indianapolis, just about a couple miles away from downtown, about a mile away or so from downtown Indianapolis. Very strong thunderstorm here. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Winds up to 70 miles per hour. The strongest winds coming into Maywood right now, running along in north of 74, as well as Fairview Station, Drexel Gardens, all under the gun here from this considerable severe thunderstorm warning. 70-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a tornado possible within this thunderstorm. Let me go ahead and switch radars here to get another look here from another radar site. So the strongest winds in county. If you're in Morgan or Hendricks County, you guys are good from this severe thunderstorm. You guys are in the clear. Still some other showers and thunderstorms around in the vicinity, but the severe thunderstorm criteria is solely in Marion County. Strongest winds right here on I-70, just south of Gardens. If you're from Ben Davis all the way down to 69 I-79 Sunshine Gardens, just northwest of Southport, you're under the gun. 70-mile-per-hour winds. Strongest winds right in here, coming into Drexel Gardens, Fairview Station, Speedway, going to come pretty close to the Speedway area, and it looks to come directly towards downtown Indianapolis as well. So if you're in downtown Indianapolis, heads up, have a very strong thunderstorm headed your way. Now's the time to find your safe place and get in that safe place as we await this severe thunderstorm to be coming into town here. Skies are looking pretty dark just west of the Circle City here. Very nice shelf cloud on the leading edge as well. Winds up to 70 miles per hour. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. This is a level 2 out of 3, as well as a tornado possible. There's some broad rotation exhibited on the leading edge of this now. However, the rotation has kind of broadened out to the point where it's more straight line winds at this point. You can see a really nice apex right in here, where you have a really solid gust front, reinforced gust front along the leading edge. It's not a very wide storm either, only a couple of miles wide. It's going to blow through and then winds will lighten up pretty quick, but they're going to pack a punch for about a minute or so along the leading edge of this gust front. Winds up to 70 miles per hour. I mean, look at these velocities here on the leading edge. Just outside Maywood, Ben Davis, Drexel, these brighter pinks, those are velocities indicating winds of over 60 miles an hour, approaching 70 miles per hour. So very intense winds here associated with this. Let's go ahead and switch back on our velocities on the airport radar, on the NWS radar rather. Still very strong pockets of winds up to 70 miles per hour being exhibited here. This storm is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Tornado possible tag. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into a basement or a small central room in a sturdy structure. I would treat this whole thing as you would a tornado warning, just very intense straight line winds. Look at these oranges here. We're starting to see some oranges pop up. That's winds just above the surface over 70 miles per hour. So we could have a few gusts perhaps in the 72 range, maybe a little bit higher. And in pocket, there are winds of at least 60 miles per hour, if not approaching a little bit faster than even 70 miles per hour. We're just a couple hundred feet off the ground here from the airport. So what you're seeing here on velocity is likely transmitting its way to the ground in this form of just very intense straight line winds. Can't rule out a spin up tornado along the leading edge. Tornado possible tag on this severe thunderstorm warning. Hail is not a big issue with this storm, just immense straight line winds, torrential rainfall, as well as near zero visibility within this storm as well. Trying to get a camera to work here for you guys, but none of the cameras around Indianapolis seem to be working at the moment. So I apologize on that front. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning in effect for 21 more minutes here. 70-mile-per-hour gusts. Severe thunderstorm was located near Speedway or near Indianapolis, coming into downtown Indianapolis, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. This is radar indicated. Expect considerable tree damage. Damage is likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. Locations include Indianapolis, Plainfield, Beech Grove, Speedway, Avon, Spring Hill, Crow's Nest, North Crow's Nest, Monument Circle, Indianapolis International Airport, Indiana State Fairgrounds, Canby, and Broad Ripple. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into a basement or a small central room of a sturdy structure. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Maximum winds estimated near 70 miles per hour. 70 is occurring here within this storm. So this is a very dangerous storm. Just moments away from downtown Indianapolis, just outside of downtown. Skies are awfully dark coming into downtown. We're going to wait our next radar scan here. This is Marion County, Indiana. This is our only severe thunderstorm warning currently in the state, and this will be impacting downtown Indianapolis for those wondering on locations. New scan here showing pockets, very intense pockets near Mount Jackson, just to the northwest of downtown. Possible rotation embedded within that on the north side, but also very strong straight line winds of 70 plus miles per hour. Would not be surprised to see a few reports in excess of 70 miles per hour right in here. Where you see these oranges at, those are winds a little bit stronger than 70 miles per hour on the leading edge of this storm, as well as a possible tornado. There is a hook echo on radar associated with this. So if there were to be a weak, perhaps a brief spin-up tornado, it would be near just east of Speedway, north of Mount Jackson. There's a little bit of rotation on the north side of Fairview Station, just outside of Indianapolis. Just intense straight line winds. In fact, we're close to 80 miles per hour right in here in this pocket. Would not be surprised to see this warning go destructive. We're close to 80 miles per hour, a couple hundred feet off the ground. Still a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. But if you're on the north side of Indianapolis, just east of Speedway, if you're in Riverside, North Indianapolis, or the Indianapolis Children's Museum, now's the time to be in your severe thunderstorm shelter. Winds of 70 to perhaps even 80 miles per hour, especially in this pocket right in here, coming towards the Indianapolis Children's Museum, North Indianapolis, Clifton, Woodstock. Riley Hospital also impacted by this severe thunderstorm warning. Winds close to 80 miles per hour. We may see a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, and this is observed as well. 70 mile per hour winds have been observed with this warning, and perhaps a few stronger gusts possible on the north side. This is a very dangerous storm moving towards downtown Indianapolis and just on the north side of downtown as well. Just a very, very strong storm here. You don't want to be caught outside. Interior room, away from shelter until this storm has passed. Winds of 70 miles per hour observed. Tornado possible tag. There's a little bit of rotation associated with the storm, as well as just intense straight line winds, especially on the north side. There we go. Destructive severe thunderstorm warning. We wondered if that was coming, and we are here. We have a destructive, Wrong one. There we go. This is a level 3 out of 3 of our severe thunderstorm warnings. This is the storm warning that we can get. This is for 80-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible. We were just talking about that possible upgrade. Just impeccable timing there. Shout out to the National Weather Service in Indianapolis for issuing that. There you go. It's mainly for this pocket right in here, just north of Fairview Station near Mount Jackson, coming near Riverside, North Indianapolis, Indianapolis Children's Museum. We have this is a highly populated area as well. Riley Hospital for Children also included in this destructive severe thunderstorm warning, coming over Riley right now, as well as coming up to 65 and 70 here. I-65 going to be impacted here very, very shortly. This is winds up to 80 miles per hour, 80. This is destructive. Destructive damage. This is a destructive storm. This is a very dangerous storm as well. Flying debris is possible from straight line winds from this storm. Do not be caught outside. Tornado possible. Damage threat is destructive. Flying debris will be dangerous or deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be heavily damaged. Expect considerable damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles. Extensive tree damage and power outages are likely. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into a basement or small central room in a sturdy structure. Again, 80-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible are the going hazards here. Hail up to penny size. Not a big hail maker here. We don't really have the ingredients here for large hailstones here today, but we have a really moist atmosphere, and sometimes you get these heavy thunderstorms that are just able to maximize the downward motion. We have a lot of decape in the atmosphere. That's a ingredient for really strong downdrafts, and we have that today. So these wet, heavy thunderstorms can be capable of really strong winds. Right now, the strongest winds north side of Indianapolis, coming right near I-65 on the north side of downtown. Think Indiana Health Hospital. So here's downtown Indianapolis, right in here where I circle. That's Circle Monument. That's where the monument is, right there in the Circle City. Coming up here to the north here, we have Fayette Street, as well as West 16th Street, Indiana Avenue, West 10th Street, coming near Meridian Highlands. 80-mile-per-hour winds, a nice pocket of 70 to 80-mile-per-hour winds right in here. In fact, we're going to go ahead and just take velocity full here, as the winds are going to be the main hazard here. We're going to solely utilize velocity here, showing our wind speeds here. So here's downtown Indianapolis. There's the Monument Circle. Here's our pocket of straight line winds, just to the south of 30th Street, coming near the Children's Museum, as well as East 22nd Street, Fall Creek Place, West Fall Creek Parkway, Highland vicinity, friends and neighbors. As a few places to shout out here in the path, impacting Riley Children's Hospital right now, as well as Indiana University, Indianapolis, as well as IU Health on East 16th Street, also getting impacted by 70 to 80-mile-per-hour winds. This is moving northeast at 40 to 45 miles per hour. This is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. Winds up to 80 miles per hour, 80. Power outages are likely. The strongest winds are now north of downtown Indianapolis, running along I-70 and north. So it looks like the strongest winds did thankfully miss exactly downtown. But if you're just a few blocks north of downtown, you're getting hammered by straight line winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour. Fall Creek Place, Meridian Highlands, Gather 22, East 22nd Street, as well as Dr. Andrew Brown Avenue and Hillsdale Avenue, coming up to along and north of I-70. There's also now we have a tornado warning. Tornado warning has now been issued just north of downtown Indianapolis. So we have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning. This is radar indicated area of rotation. I was wondering if they were going to pull the trigger on that. Right over the Indianapolis Children's Museum is where this area of rotation is currently moving northeast. I don't see anything on our debris tracker yet. But there is some rotation associated with this. So the area of rotation is directly over Meridian Park, the Children's Museum, coming near East Fall Creek Parkway, coming near Big Watts, Wings and More, Indiana State Fair Coliseum. So it's coming right near the fairgrounds here. Here's the Indiana State Fairgrounds right in here. Area of rotation right here. So it's heading right towards the Indiana Fairgrounds, as well as East 38th Street, and getting ready to cross Keystone Avenue. North Keystone Avenue and 38th Street is where we're looking at here for the area of rotation, as well as a destructive severe thunderstorm warning here. This is an extremely dangerous thunderstorm if you're on the north side of Indianapolis. We have a tornado warning as well as a destructive severe thunderstorm warning here. If you're south of Indianapolis, you're currently in the clear. Speedway, Drexel Gardens, you're good. You're in the clear. You're in the clear. If you're, let's go ahead and take dual screen black here just a little bit. We're going to turn our debris tracker on, and just track that here a little bit behind the scenes. Right in here is the area of rotation. Currently not seeing anything on radar indicative of anything on the ground at this point in time. But we do have a very strong pocket of straight line winds in excess of 70 to 80 miles per hour associated with this storm. You see a really nice hook echo on radar as well. There's your hook echo. Right in here is where the area of rotation is sitting, or right in here, really close to the Indianapolis Children's Museum, likely just a little bit north of there now, kind of right where you see this rain-free zone here. This pocket, so this is rain wrap rotation, mind you. You're not going to see this tornado coming if there is one on the ground. You're not going to see the area of rotation either. It is completely rain wrapped within this storm, sitting right in here, somewhere along this vicinity here, waiting on the next velocity scan to come up. But the area of rotation is probably near East Fall Creek Parkway Drive, as well as Dr. Anthony Brown Avenue, north of East 30th Street, near, there you go, right in here. Here's the latest scan. Huge pocket of straight line winds coming near, moving along I-70, coming near I-69, coming towards Lawrence, as well as East 38th Street and North Arlington Avenue. So if you're in North Arlington Avenue and East 38th Street, we have Forest Manor Interurban Station right there on 38th Street. Interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. This is a radar indicated tornado warning, as well as a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. That's a level 3 out of 3. This is the highest level of severe thunderstorm warning that we can see issued by the National Weather Service. We have baseline at 60, considerable at 70, and destructive at 80. This is a level 3 out of 3. So an incredibly dangerous situation here. This is northeast of Indianapolis. If you're downtown Indianapolis, you're currently okay, but you don't have to go far to be in the midst of it yet. Just an extremely dangerous storm here, and a rain-wrapped area of rotation associated with this as well. This is radar indicated rotation as well as a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. Go ahead and read the latest warning here from the National Weather Service from this destructive severe thunderstorm warning. 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be heavily damaged. Expect considerable damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles. Extensive tree damage and power outages are likely. Remain alert for a possible this can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. This is 80-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a tornado possible. We have tornado warning, radar indicated. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Indianapolis, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Hazard tornado radar indicated rotation. Take cover now. Move to a basement, interior room on the lowest level of your floor. In fact, if you're not in the tornado warning, but if you're in the destructive severe thunderstorm warning, you need to do the same here. The message is the same. Interior room, lowest level of your home, away from windows. 80-mile-per-hour winds alone is on the scale of a weak tornado, despite not having rotational winds, but straight line winds. 80-mile-per-hour winds are no joke. So interior room, lowest level of your home, away from window, put as many layers between you and the outside as possible, and do not park under overpasses. I see a lot of INDOT cameras right now showing motorists clogging overpasses. I don't want to see that. If you're one of those, you need to get out from underneath of there. Do not park under an overpass. You're blocking traffic, but you're also becoming a hindrance to any emergency personnel that need to use the highway as well. So do not park under overpasses, please. It's a terrible, terrible idea. Just bad all the way around. you need to pull off, find a gas station or a sturdy structure to take shelter in. An overpass is just not going to do it for you. Ex- um, we're currently strongest straight line winds. We're on rapid scan here now. It looks like coming right into Lawrence. Looks the good news is though I'm not seeing a significant amount of rotation with these latest scans, which is good. But currently still showing a really intense pocket of straight line winds moving towards Lawrence, Indiana, just north of Warren Park, along I-70. Strongest winds right in here. The rotation that we were seeing just north of downtown Indianapolis seems to have broadened out just a little bit. We're seeing more of a bow echo associated with this, maybe a little bit of a rear inflow jet getting kicked in here, pulling, just kind of enhancing or prolonging the straight line wind risk with this storm as it moved towards the Lawrence area. Currently, Fishers and Noblesville under a tornado warning. However, the area of rotation has kind of broadened out a little bit. It could redevelop. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but for right now, straight line winds appears to be the primary hazard. Tornado warning does remain in effect for 21 more minutes, though. So do be alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorm warnings. Without our tornado warning, we do have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for this entire storm. This whole box here is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for winds up to 80 miles per hour, penny-sized hail, as well as a tornado possible. We have had confirmed reports of winds of in excess of 70 miles per hour, but it would not be surprised to see a few reports of 80 miles per hour, especially on the north side of Indianapolis, just east of Speedway. It got really intense in that vicinity there. Tornado warning. This is radar indicated. Currently, there's no signs of a tornado on the ground at this point in time. This is radar indicated. Currently looking at velocity, though, it looks to have broadened out. I don't see a significant amount of rotation currently that would really signify an imminent tornado with this. But we do have a nice pocket of straight line winds coming into the Lawrence area just north of Warren Park, right along I-70. That's currently where we're at. If you're in downtown Indianapolis, Speedway, West Newton, Southport, basically, if you're in Marion County, but you're in this box, you're currently in the clear. You guys are good. Still under a warning. We'll likely see these warnings trim back. But if you're in southwest portions of Marion County, including downtown Indianapolis, you guys are in the clear. Still getting some heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds on the south side of Indianapolis with these showers and thunderstorms here. But the worst damaging winds is now passed off to your north and northeast. Coming near Lawrence, Indiana, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Radar indicated tornado warning also in effect here still. Not showing a significant sign of rotation anymore. We did have some just north of Indianapolis, but we are kind of seeing the straight line winds kind of broaden out just a little bit. I don't know if we're at 80 miles per hour anymore, probably closer to the 60 to 70 mile per hour range. That's still significant. That's still enough, worthy enough to take shelter at, especially if you're in Lawrence coming right now. It's crossing I-69 coming into the Lawrence area. Here's the latest velocity scan now. Yeah, really kind of broadening out. I think we're below 70 miles per hour at this point in time. Still a destructive severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect, as well as a tornado warning. But right now, the latest signs are encouraging. We're starting to see a downtrend on this storm. It could re-intensify, but the strongest winds were back towards the airport and just north of downtown Indianapolis a few moments ago. So we are starting to see a downtrend here within this storm. Wouldn't be surprised to see these warnings downtrended just a little bit, but there still could be pockets of 60 plus mile per hour winds embedded within this storm. But I think widespread 70 to 80 mile per hour winds look less likely at this current time. But we are going to have to watch for signs of any re-intensification as this moves off towards the McCordsville and Fortville areas, as well as Fishers, Indiana. Currently, Fishers, Indiana, you're on the north side of the destructive warning. You're under a tornado warning right now, but I currently don't see anything that really signifies an imminent tornado at this point in time. Thankfully, the rotation has broadened out a little bit, but it could redevelop. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. So we're going to keep an eye on that as it continues to move off to the east-northeast at 40 miles per hour. But we do, does look like we have a weakening storm right now. If you're in Fishers, right now you're under a tornado warning. But right now I don't see a significant amount of rotation at this point in time. It could redevelop. You're in this tornado warning. You're also in a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. But right now the winds and radar are encouraging. So we're seeing the colors suggest winds are closer to the 60 miles per hour, perhaps a few gusts to 70 miles per hour. We do have a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. In Fishers, Indiana, right now. Thanks for your coverage. Yeah, thank you for watching and thanks for that super chat. Yeah, remain in your safe place if you're in these warnings here. Although we have a weakening trend right now, it could always re-intensify. So this storm has a history of producing winds up to 70 miles per hour, and I would not be surprised. I'm still waiting on some Mesonet data to come in here, but I fully expect to see winds greater than 70 miles per hour in a few pockets. The radar supported that. We got a really good cross section of this storm as well. So the radar in Indianapolis is right here. So radar beams increase with height the further you go, but we're getting a really good of this storm. So the winds that we saw off this Doppler radar were just a couple hundred feet off the ground. So what we saw on the radar was very likely transferring its way to the ground, and we were likely seeing that there. Still have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning in effect, as well as a tornado warning radar indicated. But the good news is I really don't see a lot of rotation within this storm. There could be perhaps some broad rotation in the low levels that maybe the radar is overshooting. That's very possible within these storms. But you can see a nice big gust front along the leading edge. Right now, winds of 80 miles per hour at this point in time. Based on radar, we're in the 60 mile per hour range. I think currently within the storm, at least based on radar, it could re-intensify, and there could be some stronger gusts mixing their way down to the ground. That's highly possible as the storm moves towards Fisher. There we go. Tornado warning has been dropped, which is some good news there. Still have our destructive severe thunderstorm warning in effect here. Would not be surprised to see that maybe reduced as well, maybe on the next update or next trim back. I currently don't think there's 80 mile per hour winds occurring within this. I think we're at least at 60 though, especially near the Lawrence area. Just to the north of I-70, south of I-69, but also east of I-69, depending on where you're at. If you're in Fishers, Indiana, on the north side of this warning box, strongest winds are to your south. And I'll go ahead and circle where these strongest winds currently reside right in here. That's kind of where we're looking at here. So the strongest winds may skirt just barely south of downtown Fishers, but downtown Fishers could still get quite gusty, perhaps 45 to 60 miles per hour. At least 60 miles per hour winds coming towards the Lawrence area in McCordsville and Fortville. If you have any damage, if you guys have seen any damage in the Indianapolis area, we have posts out right now asking for damage. So if you have any damage, feel free to report that to us or send those in. Let us know. We can relay that to the National Weather Service and let them know. If you do report any damage, please do time, event, location, the time it occurred to the best of your ability, and where it occurred at, and what occurred. What was the hazard that caused the damage that you think or saw? That is very helpful when reporting storm damage as well. So destructive severe thunderstorm warning still in effect. They did leave a tornado possible tag on this, thinking maybe there could be some broad rotation along the leading edge of the storm, perhaps. Definitely plausible. I don't see anything on other radars I have here behind the scenes that really signify a tornado is imminent. Currently, the strongest winds is just to the east of Lawrence, kind of on the southern end of the warning box. Right in here is kind of where the strongest winds are right now. South of Fisher is coming into McCordsville and Fortville. I'd be curious to see if they're going to downgrade this warning. I currently don't think there's 80 mile per hour winds occurring anymore. We definitely saw that north of Indianapolis, 70 plus mile per hour winds. I think 100% verified. We had confirmed reports of 70 measured. That was observed. There we go. So they have downtrended this back to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. So we've lost the destructive tag, which is good, but still winds perhaps up to 70 miles per hour with the strongest winds just to the east of Lawrence coming near the McCordsville area just to the east of Warren Park. So I-70 east of I-69, right in here, right in areas that I circled here. So coming near the Fortville area. If you're in Pendleton, Indiana, keep an eye on this storm. No warning for you yet, but there could be one if the storm continues at its current intensity, as it is moving in your direction at about 40 miles per hour. Nice. Currently, the strongest pocket of wind is just to the east of Lawrence, Indiana, coming near the airport here, KMQJ, just north of I-70. Is currently where the strongest velocity returns are within this storm. Due east of Lawrence, south of McCordsville, heading towards the McCordsville area. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. There's also a tornado possible tag within this. However, right now I don't see any rotation that really signifies an imminent tornado within the severe thunderstorm warning. You can see winds are more parallel to each other. So how to read the radar here a little bit. So the reds are winds going away from the radar site, and greens are winds going towards the radar site. So we have winds kind of doing this number here a little bit, where they're not really holding hands. We don't really see a couplet. We have winds running parallel to each other, but not really holding hands at this point in time, which is good. If we see these winds start to hold hands, then we start to get a little bit more concerned. But for right now, on the tornado front, I don't see anything holding hands, which is good. Right now, it looks to be straight line winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, as well as penny-size hail possible within the storm. So very small hail. The primary hazard here, in fact, the only severe hazard right now is straight line winds with the possibility of a spin-up tornado possible in here as well. So if you're in the Fortville area, keep an eye on this storm as it moves in your direction. This is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. The storm has a history of producing winds measured at 70 miles per hour a little bit ago, just on the north side of Indianapolis, as well as embedded pockets of up to perhaps 80 miles per hour within this storm. So this storm has a history of producing some quite significant wind gusts. Current motion of the storm is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Hazard 70 mile per hour wind gusts. This is radar indicated. Expect considerable tree damage. Damage is likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. The severe thunderstorm warning does 24 more minutes here. At 5:02 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Lawrence, or 13 miles northeast of Indianapolis, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Hazard 70 mile per hour wind gusts. This is radar indicated, meaning the radar is sampling winds aloft that could correlate down to the ground at 60 to 70 miles per hour. If you're in Indianapolis, if you are outside of northeast Marion County, you're currently in the clear. Areas in this zone here, so downtown, Beech Grove, Greenwood, you're clear from severe weather. The only severe thunderstorm warning is for extreme northeastern Marion County, moving into Greene County, as well as just to the south of Charlesville. This is for northwestern Hancock County, Marion County, and Hamilton County. Sorry, I don't know why I said Greene County. It's not Greene County. Hazard 70 mile per hour wind gusts, as well as a possible tornado possible tag. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorm warnings. Currently, no indications of a tornado touchdown at this point in time. If you guys have any damage reports, please let us know. We have a couple text posts out right now looking for damage in the Indianapolis area for both straight line winds, but also a possible tornado as well. We don't have any reports of a tornado at this point in time, but there was some rotation embedded within the storm as it moved over north central Marion County. So if you have any damage reports, please let us know. Downtown Indianapolis, you're currently okay. Currently, the strongest winds right now are moving out of Marion County. They're right in here, coming towards the Fisherist area and McCordsville, coming near Fortville. So Marion County is about to be in the clear from this severe thunderstorm warning. This will be just northwest of Greenfield, north of Spring Lake, coming near Fortville and McCordsville. Currently under a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for winds up to 70 miles per hour. Here's the latest velocity scan. So, yeah, if you're in Marion County is in the clear. The storm has moved out of Marion County. It is now moving into Hancock County, as well as, excuse me, southeastern Hamilton County. The strongest winds look to be, south of Fishers. The strongest winds do appear to be near the McCordsville area, east of Lawrence, near the airport, and coming near the Fortville area. Strongest winds look to be right in here of this box. If you're in Fishers, I'd be curious to know what your winds are doing there. They do look to be kind of maybe perhaps below severe criteria on the northern end of the warning box, which is encouraging. But I'd be curious to know if there's anything stronger, perhaps mixing down to the ground. It's of from Sergio in chat saying, if you're on I-70, look out for debris near the airport. Sounds like a FedEx facility was hit with straight line winds, and there's boxes and packages and were thrown over the wall onto I-70 westbound. So if you're near the airport down here, watch out for some FedEx packages that got blown out of the airport, and just all in all, this whole area, just watch out for debris, foreign material, foreign objects on the roadways. Intense winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour, went through this zone right in here. So if you're anywhere in there, just watch out, be careful right now. There still could be, down power lines, and it looks like this storm is below severe criteria. In fact, we're going to go from a considerable severe thunderstorm warning to a special weather statement. So that really signifies that the confidence level in this storm being severe at the moment is quite low. So the good news is we saw a rapid weakening trend of this storm, which is good. I don't want to see destructive winds continue over a long duration, but we're going for a special weather statement. So this storm is below, which is good. We saw a rapid weakening trend. So wind gusts of 50 to 55 miles per hour in pea-sized hail. So the good news is still going to have some gusty winds coming into the Anderson area, Muncie, Newcastle, Greenfield, Knightstown, but this storm currently is below severe criteria. Our considerable severe thunderstorm warning is going to be allowed to expire, with a large special weather statement going to be taking over. So some really good news across the board. This storm is no longer severe. They're going to let this warning expire with a new special weather statement taking over. So we're likely going to see an early cancellation of our considerable severe thunderstorm warning, allowing this big blue box. This is a special weather statement to take over. Special weather statements do not sound your emergency alert system, as they are not for severe thunderstorms. They're for strong thunderstorms that are just below severe criteria, but could still cause some minor damage. They can blow loose objects around, trash cans around, blow some limbs down, or dead limbs or sticks. So good news there. Downtown Indianapolis, all of Marion County is in the clear. So if you're in Marion County, there's still some rain going on east side of Indianapolis, Fishers, and areas south, but all of Marion County is currently in the clear. Hearing reports of quite a bit of damage in Marion County as well, from tree damage and stuff like that. So if you're out driving around, watch out for down power lines. You don't know if they're live, or never approach, never drive over down power lines. That can be extremely dangerous, if not fatal. And watch out for some debris as well. Getting reports of some multiple trees snapped in half at the airport. A couple of them laying in the roadways, and a couple of out of power as well. It looks like some reports. Thank you, Sergio, for that in chat. So yeah, lots of damage, tree damage, power line damages. So do watch out for that. Currently down. We're currently not severe at this point in time. We do have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning still in effect. Likely going to see here very, very soon. The National Weather Service thinking that this storm is below severe criteria. So if you're in Greenfield, Knightstown, Newcastle, Anderson, Yorktown, we are below severe criteria at this point in time, which is good news. The storm has weakened below severe criteria. Could still have some damaging winds up to 50 to 55 miles per hour, but we are below severe criteria, which is good. I do want to give a shout out of our sponsor, though, for sponsoring our severe weather live stream today, based in Indianapolis. Rucker's Outdoor Services, based in the Indianapolis area. If you have any tree damage or anything like that, or trees you want to get taken care of before the next storm hits, it's kind of too late now, but before the next storm hits, give them a call. They'll be happy to take care of them for you before the next storm rolls in and cause damage. That is Rucker's Outdoor Services, based in Indianapolis and proudly serving the Indianapolis and surrounding areas. So if you're in Indianapolis, give them a call and have them take care of any tree issues before they become an issue or a liability. So we are now below severe criteria. Our severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped. We have no active severe thunderstorm alerts here currently. Currently downstream, winds of 50 to 55 miles per hour. The storm is still moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour, 55 miles per hour. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Minor hail damage is possible. Pea-sized hail, which is 0.75 inches in diameter, maybe even a little bit smaller within this, kind of between pea size and penny size. Not everyone's going to see penny-sized hail within, but there are some embedded pockets of straight-line winds up to 50 to 55 miles per hour, which we are below severe criteria, which is good. And we're seeing kind of what evolved here from a singular storm has now evolved into a big line of storm, kind of a messy, semi-organized line of thunderstorms with a go. So all along this line, we could have winds up to 50 to 55 miles per hour. Widespread severe weather is not expected today, but we did have that storm go destructive across Indianapolis. That was a little bit of a surprise. We didn't expect to see 70 to 80 mile per hour winds today. That was a little bit of a surprise, but anytime you have a risk for severe thunderstorms, that is possible. We can get high-end severe thunderstorms, even in a marginal risk. It's not out of the question. Marginal does not mean this is a perfect example of that. Just because we're in a marginal risk or a low-end severe weather risk does not mean the risk is zero. And this is a perfect example of why anytime thunderstorms are in the area or in the forecast, even with a low-end severe weather risk, it's always good to stay and remain weather aware until the event is over. For the remainder of the night here tonight, let's go ahead and switch back to main radar here. This area here in eastern Indiana, generally east of I-69 from here on out, could have a few showers and thunderstorms. A few could be strong to severe. Widespread severe weather is not expected here tonight, but we could have an occasional strong to severe thunderstorm. Can't be ruled out. I'd be shocked if we see another destructive warning. Again, that was not did today, but not expected does not mean there's a zero probability of it occurring. So anytime you have a risk for a severe weather or a severe thunderstorm, there's always a ceiling. There's always high-end potential. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you can have potential even on low-end severe weather days. So a good reminder to remain vigilant and severe weather aware anytime there's thunderstorms, but also a severe weather risk here in Indiana. Also, watch out for torrential rainfall. If you're in Indianapolis or Marion County or surrounding areas, rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour have been observed within this storm. Watch out for ponding. We don't want to see any hydroplaning. Reduce your speeds. Be careful with viaducts or any low areas as well. Do watch out for shoulder runoff and ponding under viaducts or shoulders on roads as well. So do be mindful of that. Currently, our severe weather risk has not ended for the storm, but it is below severe criteria. Special weather statement in effect for about the next hour as these storms approach the Muncie area, Newcastle, and Greenfield area, but they are below severe criteria. Winds up to 55 miles per hour, as well as penny-sized hail. Looking at our velocity here, once it loads, there we go. You can see a nice line of straight line winds coming into the Greenfield area. In fact, moving into Greenfield right now, but the storm does look to be below severe criteria, which is good. Kind of a pocket of some stronger straight line winds moving over the Greenfield area right now, maybe even a little bit of broad rotation, perhaps. You can see a little bit of a hook there on radar and maybe some broad rotation near Greenfield, but something to keep an eye on there on the leading edge as it moves near the Knightstown area. Not super strong at this point in time, but it is something that does catch my eye on radar. So that is something to keep an eye on. We do have a nice shelf cloud on the leading edge of the storm as well. Go ahead and try. Yeah, trying to find a camera looking west here for you guys. But currently, straight line winds up to 50 miles per hour are possible here within the storm. I'm going to stay on here just a little bit longer to make sure this doesn't go severe anytime soon. But perhaps, yeah, nice little pocket of straight line winds or perhaps broad rotation near Greenfield. Currently, nothing that really is super intense that really signifies, an imminent tornado or anything like that. But something to be mindful of as well. These storms will eventually make their way towards Muncie and Newcastle. What severity will they be at? Just kind of a waiting game right now. Currently, they're below severe criteria. Winds up to 50 to 55 miles per hour. That is strong enough, though, to leave some damage or blow some loose objects around. But we are currently below severe criteria, which is good. If you guys have any damage, feel free to report that. We have some posts out on the page, some damage reports. We have quite a bit of damage coming in from all over Marion County, Indiana, from a little bit ago. Just really, really strong thunderstorm that went through there. In fact, a destructive thunderstorm as well. I'm going through some of your reports right now of this storm as we're keeping an eye on it here. This is currently moving east northeast at about 40 miles per hour. Going to be moving through Greenfield right now. We'll be coming near the Knightstown area and Anderson area here momentarily. Quite a bit of tree damage coming through. Or coming down from the Indianapolis area. A lot of reports of tree damage from Indianapolis. So that is something to keep an eye on. But this storm is well below severe criteria at this point in time. Winds of around 50 to 55 miles per hour is what this special weather statement is for as we move towards Greenfield, Knightstown, and Newcastle. We'll stay on here for a couple more minutes here before we hop off, and we'll monitor trends here behind the scenes. If we need to come back on, we will. But we're going to continue to watch this here for a couple more minutes here live. Currently, anywhere in this blue box is a special weather statement for winds 50 to 55 miles per hour. But this was a significant storm that rolled through Marion County, Indiana, from the Plainfield area north of downtown Indianapolis all the way through Marion County. Winds up to 80 miles per hour. Quite a bit of damage. If you guys have seen any damage, please go to our reports post on Facebook and let us know what you guys have seen and what time that occurred and where that occurred at. That is really helpful for us and also the National Weather Service, seeing how this is verified, specifically north of downtown Indianapolis. This is where the tornado warning was first issued, and we also saw just quite a bit of winds within that portion as well. Hitting play here, you can see the movement on this is still east northeast at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. Winds up to 50 miles per hour are the going hazards here with this line. This will be moving into the Anderson area now. McCordsville, you're good. You're over. Coming into the Pendleton area right now, as well as Shirley, Knightstown, and Greenfield, seeing impacts from this strong thunderstorm. Currently not severe. Special weather statement on it for pea-size hail and winds up to 55 miles per hour. Currently, we are below severe criteria at this point in time. Probably going to hop off here pretty soon. If we have another considerable severe thunderstorm warning or tornado possible tag, we'll come back on here and cover that. I don't expect that here today, but as we have seen, anything is possible whenever there's just enough severe weather ingredients in place here today. But if you're in Marion County, Indiana, you guys are in the clear. And there we go. We are going to stay live here a little bit longer now. This is one of the reasons why we didn't hop off. Tornado possible, winds up to 60 miles per hour. So it looks like winds up to 60 miles per hour possible now for the Newcastle area. Muncie under a severe thunderstorm warning. Looking at winds, though, the strongest winds still appear to be on the southern end of the warning box, kind of right down here. I don't see any rotation, or at least nothing that really screams an imminent tornado within this at the moment. But there could be some gusty winds to perhaps maybe 60 miles an hour on the south side of the warning box. But I really don't see much over 50 on the northern end of the warning box from like the Pendleton Anderson area. I really don't see much over 60 on the north end of the warning box. There is a little bit of a cell merger going on here within the storm that could have prompted the tornado possible tag within this. Sometimes cell mergers can enhance a little bit of rotation. So kind of this area here, we'll have to watch, see a little bit of a hook on radar, but not really correlating to much of velocity, at least in the low levels yet. But have to keep an eye on that if there's a latest scan. Yeah, not a lot in the way of rotation currently within this storm. But winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as a tornado possible tag. This does include the Newcastle area and Muncie area. Strongest portion of the storm right now is right in here. And this is going to move towards the Newcastle area. A little bit for right now. So Muncie, keep an eye on this storm. But right now, the strongest portion of the storm is to your south. Currently, severe thunderstorm warning now for 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as a tornado possible. I don't see a lot of rotation within this, not much at all that really screams a tornado at this point in time. But there is some gusty straight line winds, especially in the southern end of the warning box, right in here, northeast of Greenfield, right in here, south of Anderson is kind of where the pocket of strongest winds currently north of the warning box. There could be maybe some pockets up to 60, but I really don't see much on radar that would suggest 60-mile-per-hour on the northern end of the warning box, especially Anderson and Pendleton. I really don't see there at all. But the strongest portion of the storm would be coming into the looks like the Wilkinson area and maybe perhaps Spiceland or Greensboro, just northeast of Greenfield near Knightstown. This severe thunderstorm warning is currently for southern Madison County, northeastern Hancock County, southwestern Randolph County, Delaware, and Henry County in east central Indiana until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. These storms are moving northeast at 35 miles per hour, hazard 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The strongest portion of the storm, though, is along I-70. If you're in the northern end of the warning box, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but I really don't see much straight line winds at all in this storm. If you're Anderson, Pendleton, in areas up in here, there could be a few, gusts mixing down, but even on like I have some cameras in the area and the rain sheets are coming straight down. They're not blowing at all in the Anderson area. So that would tell me winds are less than 20 miles an hour in Anderson right now and along I-69. So perhaps gusts up to 60 miles an hour on the southern end of the box. But up here along I-69, I mean, it could intensify, but the rain's coming straight down. If you're in the Pendleton area and areas just to the east, which is a good sign. Doesn't look like some of the strongest winds are mixing all the way down to the ground. But at least on I-69, the rain's coming straight down and the trees are not blowing hardly at all. So perhaps the good news there on the northern end of the warning box. The southern end, though, does have some stronger winds associated with it. Coming into the Wilkinson area, Nicetown, Spiceland, and Newcastle, this area here would be the strongest portion of the storm right in here as it moves off to the east-northeast at 35, 40 miles per hour towards the Newcastle area. As Shaylee just confirmed what we're saying there, she said, "You're right about Pendleton getting rain coming straight down. No wind, but our sirens are going off." Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, yeah, not a lot I really see, up in this area at all. There's just I don't see any wind at all on any cameras that we have, in-dot cameras. The rain's just coming straight down. Like I don't see any wind at all on any of these cameras. I don't like downplaying a severe thunderstorm warning, but if you're on the northern end of the warning, keep an eye on this storm. But the strongest winds appear to be on the south along I-70. But there you can see winds picking up a little bit there in that box. So this would be worth watching here if you're in the Wilkinson area. This would perhaps meet severe criteria near 60 miles per hour near the Wilkinson area. But if you're north of that, not a lot going on right now, such as north of 38. But if you're in the Newcastle area, I would watch this area right in here. Really nice pocket of winds there developing. just to the northeast of Greenfield. That would perhaps get pretty close to severe criteria there on the southern end of the box. But the northern end of the box right now, I don't see much in the way of wind. But if you're right in here, this is winds close to about 60 miles per hour right in there. Just some embedded pockets there of winds right around 60 miles per hour, just north of I-70, moving towards Newcastle, Indiana. So if you're in Newcastle, do take shelter from this storm. We do have a nice gust front moving in your direction on the southern end of the warning box. Currently, no tornadoes are imminent at this point in time. This warning does have a tornado possible tag in it, but I see no rotation within this at this point in time. There is a pocket of straight line winds on the south side of the warning box, perhaps right in here. Now, if this were to tighten up a little bit, perhaps one could say maybe some broad rotation near the Wilkinson area. You can see a little bit of a hook right in there. So there could be some broad rotation right in there. Maybe right in here, perhaps just to the west of town, but nothing that really screams an imminent tornado at this point in time, which is good. But the southern portion of the storm is still the strongest portion of the storm, which deserves a severe thunderstorm warning coming near the Shirley area and Newcastle area. But if you're in Muncie, Indiana, right now, keep an eye on this storm, but the strongest winds are to your south. Same thing in Anderson and Yorktown. Looking at INDOT cameras on I-69, the rain's coming straight down and the trees are not moving at all. There's just not a lot of wind on the northern end of this warning box along I-69 right now. If that changes, I'll let you know. But for right now, there's not a lot going on I-69 other than very heavy rainfall. Maybe some pea-sized hail, but mainly just torrential rainfall right now. And we have a tornado warning now in effect. We are just talking about that area. This is radar indicated right in here. Not super strong rotation, but there is a nice hook developing now on radar just near Wilkinson, right in here. See that really nice hook? This is shallow rotation just west of town, right in here, just Wilkinson right now. See that really nice hook on radar. In fact, this rotation is actually starting to get a little bit concerning. This is actually quite tight on the latest scan, and we're going to have our debris tracker turned on here behind the scenes to make sure that there is nothing that would be coming down. This is radar indicated rotation. I know we were just talking about this area, how it could potentially wrap up, and that is exactly what happened. So quite tight rotation now just south of the Wilkinson area. You can see these very tight couple here. This will be near Grant City and Kennard, Indiana, and Woodville. Very tight rotation here. Tornado could form really at any moment. And we're going to turn on our debris tracker here. I don't see anything yet associated with this, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that. This is a radar indicated tornado warning now. And penny-sized hail. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis issued a tornado warning for northeastern Hancock County, Henry County, and east central Indiana till 6:15 p.m. Tornado radar indicated rotation. This dangerous storm will be near Shirley and Kennard around 5:40 p.m., Cadiz and Greensboro around 5:45 p.m., Newcastle around 5:50, and Sulphur Springs and Mount Summit around 5:55. This includes Interstate 70 between markers 109 and 129. Tight rotation south of Wilkinson, Indiana, south of 234, moving towards the Woodville area and Kennard area. So if you're in Wilkinson, Indiana, Grant City, Kentland, Mount Lawn, Greensboro, enter your room away from windows until this storm has passed. This is a tornadic thunderstorm, very tight rotation near the Wilkinson area, moving east towards Kennard. If you're in Grant City, Woodville, Kennard, enter your room away from windows until this storm has passed. This storm is showing signs of increasing rotation associated with it. So interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. Waiting on the next scan to come in here. This is radar indicated rotation in effect for 36 more minutes here. This does include Grant City, Newcastle, Cadiz, Mount Summit, Moreland. There's the latest scan, broadened just a little bit, but still there nonetheless, just to the east of Wilkinson. So take this seriously if it's a tornado is on the ground. Right now, radar indicated, but the rotation is definitely tight enough for there to be a tornado. So again, interior room away from windows if you're in Newcastle. Wilkinson right now, conditions should be improving here soon. It's over you right now. Coming into the Kennard area. This is radar indicated tornado warning. Tornadoes could form at any moment. Take cover now, move to an basement or interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors in a mobile home or a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. This is a tornado warning, radar indicated tornado warning. With the tightest rotation near the Wilkinson area, there you can see where it tightened up quite a bit near Wilkinson, and now it is moving towards Kennard. Kennard, Mount Lawn, Westview, coming directly towards Newcastle, Indiana, is where this rotation is currently moving northeast at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. If I hit pause here, here's the center of rotation, and it's tracking along right about this, right towards the center of the warning box, coming towards Newcastle, Indiana. So if you're in Kennard, Mount Lawn, Woodville, Westwood, Grant City, Greensboro, Cadiz, interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. This is a tornadic thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. As well as winds up to 60 miles per hour, also just to the south of Shirley. There's some strong straight line winds going to be coming into the Greensboro area. If not a tornado on the ground, do prepare for at least 60 mile per hour winds, especially on the south side of the area of rotation. Rotation can enhance winds at the surface as well. Currently, no indications of a tornado on the ground. I don't see anything super definitive that would suggest a tornado is on the ground, but one could form at any moment. So we need to be prepared for that. Currently, the area of rotation is just to the east of Wilkinson, moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. 35 miles per hour on the radar tag. There's the latest scan, still hanging on, still pretty tight there, just to the west of Kennard, right in here. This would be where the area of rotation is near the Kennard area. If we turn on our debris tracker here, just take a look. I don't see any debris on any debris occurring right now, which is good. This is just rain right in here, and what you're seeing there, the colors, is just some clutter along the leading edge, maybe some dust getting kicked up, or some birds perhaps on the leading edge. So currently, no signs of a tornado on the ground, but the rotation is tight enough to where one could occur at the moment. So do take this seriously if you're in the Kennard area. Mount Lawn, Westwood, Cadiz, and Newcastle. Interior room, lowest level of your home, away from windows until this storm has passed. Tight rotation, or pretty decent rotation, just to the south of Woodville, moving near Kennard. Some road intersections here, right along State Road 234. Going to look to come directly into Kennard on its way to Mount Lawn. This is a tornado warning, radar indicated tornado warning. We have northeastern Hancock County, central Indiana, and Henry County in east central Indiana until 6:15 p.m. At 5:35 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 10 miles northeast of Greenfield, or 14 miles south of, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Hazard tornado radar indicated rotation. Dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. I don't see any indications of a tornado on the ground at this point in time, but one could occur at any moment. The rotation is really tightened up just to the east of Shirley on its way towards Kennard. So pretty decent rotation right in here, right where you see the reds and the greens. That's the couplet we were talking about, where the winds are holding hands. They're together. You have winds coming this way and winds going this way, and where they that's the area of rotation of where the tornado would possibly be if there is one. It would be directly over Shirley, coming near Kennard, just Grant City, near Woodville. So the rotation is quite tight. If you're in the Kennard area, I would be in interior room right now. You guys have seconds to prepare for this storm. If you're in Newcastle, I would be getting to your safe place right now. Interior room, away from windows until this storm has passed. Basement preferred. If you don't have a basement, move to an interior room away from windows. We're going to turn on our debris tracker here once again. I think this is clutter. It doesn't really line up with our area of rotation. You can see our rotation here. Our rotation's right here. This is up here. It doesn't really match up. But we do have some strong rotation. Now it's coming into the Kennard area. If no rotation or if no tornado is on the ground, plan on winds 60 miles per hour, if not 70 miles per hour, coming into the Kennard area. Strong RFD on the south side of State Road 234, just south of Woodville. If there is a tornado on the ground, it'd be coming right along 234, coming right into Kennard, if not Mount Lawn, for the area of rotation. And there's a possibility this would be a rain-wrapped area of rotation as well, with the rotation sitting right in here with all that rain surrounding it. So there is a chance this is rain-wrapped. Now's a good chance to be in an interior room away from windows. This is radar indicated tornado warning, with the area of rotation coming directly into Kennard, just to the west of Newcastle. Newcastle, Indiana, interior room away from windows. The rotation is actually very tight now, with intense RFD winds coming into Kennard, perhaps up to 80 miles per hour. There are some winds being aloft of close to 80 miles per hour, at least between 60 and 70 north of over Kennard. So very intense RFD, if not a possible tornado. So again, away from windows until the storm has passed. Radar indicated rotation here. But very, very tight rotation over Kennard right now. Here comes the next scan moving in, waiting on velocity to catch back up. This is a radar indicated tornado warning, just getting trimmed back here. Still radar indicated according to the warning. And this will be coming near Newcastle, Indiana. We're on rapid scan now. Area of rotation near Mount Lawn and Westwood. Still radar indicated. I don't see any indication of a tornado currently on the ground. You can see all rain currently. This is just all rain. Everything is uniform in size and velocity. So that is just rain. If we were to see an isolated, a really deep, colorful circle right in here, that would indicate debris getting kicked up. But for right now, I think that indicates it is on the ground, which is some good news, but it could form at any moment. And there could be a brief spin up occurring, that's not picking up debris to be picked up on radar as well. That's always a possibility. So away from window until this storm has passed. But currently, the area of rotation is near the Kennard area, moving towards Mount Lawn, Westwood, and Newcastle, Indiana. Radar indicated tornado warning still in effect. This is moving east northeast at about 40 miles per hour. Well, Samantha, you're in a tornado warning. While there's no tornado confirmed on the ground, it could form at any moment. So you need to be in your safe place regardless of what you think is on the ground or what you don't know is on the ground. It could be on the ground, it just may not be lofting debris high enough to be picked up on radar. So the rotation is tight enough for a tornado to form. Hence, we have this tornado warning for Newcastle, Indiana. So interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. But if you're in downtown Newcastle, again, interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. Area of rotation just to the south of Cadiz, right in here, going to come likely on the north side of downtown or very close to downtown. I don't see any indication of a tornado on the ground at this point in time. Looking at our debris tractor, everything is just rain right now. We don't see anything that really indicates there's any sort of debris being lofted right now. But the rotation is still there, prompting the tornado warning to continue, but remain radar indicated for now. So remain there. You can see it moving along. Area of rotation just south of 234 near Mount Lawn, moving towards the Westwood area and State Road 38 near Newcastle, Indiana. So interior room away from windows. This rotation is due west of town if you're in the Newcastle area, north of I-70, south of Cadiz, south of 234, moving right along 234 and coming near 230 or 38 near the Westwood area, north of Greensboro, Indiana, coming near the Newcastle, Indiana. Currently, the area of rotation is just south of 234, sitting right in here. Area of rotation is moving east at about 40 miles per hour, going to be coming near Newcastle and Westwood, Indiana. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. This is a hazard tornado. This dangerous storm is moving east at about 40 or 35 miles per hour, and this is for central Henry County. Central Henry County for another 24 minutes. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors in a mobile home or a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Heavy rainfall may hide this tornado. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now. This is likely rain-wrapped rotation. It has been rain-wrapped rotation for a little bit. You can see a lot of rain on the outside of this area of rotation. So the area of rotation likely sitting right back in here. You can see a lot of rain. So the area of rotation right in here, right where you see that notch. But you have all this rain that could obscure its view as it's moving towards Newcastle. So you're likely not going to see this thing coming. Interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. This is radar indicated rotation as it's moving towards Newcastle. Hopefully we see it broaden out. That's the best case scenario. But for right now, it is still hanging on. As this storm is continuing It's at about 35 miles per hour, just a couple miles outside of Newcastle, is where this area of rotation currently is. Going tracker here, still no signs of a tornado on the ground. And in fact, we're seeing this rotation perhaps begin to broaden out just a little bit, which is good, but it is still there. Nonetheless, south of Cadiz, just to the west of Newcastle, we are seeing that rotation still continue as it moves towards Newcastle, Indiana. Interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. This is our only severe storm in Indiana at this point in time, currently with a radar indicated tornado warning. This is for Henry County, Indiana. If you're outside of Henry County, Indiana, Muncie, you're in a severe thunderstorm warning. Currently, the storms up in your area, if I'm going to be honest with you, they look, below severe criteria. But you could have some winds, perhaps up to 60 miles per hour. Now, this is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, but the only winds that I see that are near considerable or close are in Henry County. Looking at NDOT cameras near the Alliance area, right up in here, or I guess north of Crossroads, the rain's coming straight down still. There's some light winds, maybe 10 to 15 miles per hour, but not close to 70 miles per hour that I see on NDOT cameras coming near Muncie, which is some good news up there. I'm talking with some team members here behind the scenes at the moment. Stand by. Currently, the rotation is just to the west of Newcastle. It did broaden out just a little bit, but it is still there. Currently near State Road 38, just to the north of Mount Lawn and Westwood, sitting right in here, moving just on the north side of Newcastle. So interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. Tornado warning getting trimmed back now. Still remains in effect. Radar indicated for another 20 minutes here. And the good news is the latest scan really just took out the rotation altogether, which is really encouraging to see. There still could be some rotation in the low levels that are perhaps under the radar, but some really encouraging signs here for Newcastle. Still remain in your safe place for right now. There still could be some rotation perhaps near 38 and Westwood, but if a hit play, you can see that couplet really just disappear. It's strong, and then you can see it just kind of phase out as the storm is becoming more of a bow echo versus having it doesn't have inflow associated with it right now. It's mainly outflow, which is why we still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Tornado warning is still there. We'll have to watch it for a next scan if an area of rotation redevelops or if it remains really broad like we see here. This looks to be more straight line winds at the moment, which is good. Radar indicated tornado warning remains in effect, but the good news is the area of rotation has broadened out to the point where it's really encouraging to see that. Hopefully this trend continues. Tornado warning remains in effect, though it is radar indicated at this point in time. The strongest winds are now coming into Newcastle right now. The good news is I don't see anything that really screams tornado at this moment. More straight line winds. The rotation has broadened out, and we're seeing more of a bow echo associated with this, with straight line winds on the backside. There still could be perhaps some broad rotation somewhere within this leading edge that maybe is below radar. But for right now, more straight line winds at the moment, which is some good news. Still, maybe some broad rotation associated with it just north of downtown Newcastle. But for right now, straight line winds is the primary hazard. I would remain in your safe place, though. Rotation can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. Chelsea, if you have photos of that or any damage that you've seen, please go to our page and underneath the damage post that we have, please put that in there. We're looking for any photos or damage that you may have seen. Currently, this storm is moving over Newcastle, Indiana. The rotation, though, has broadened out quite a bit, which is really encouraging to see. I don't see anything that really screams an imminent tornado at this point in time. There still could be some broad rotation, perhaps underneath the radar beam here. So I would not discount it entirely, though it is weaker at this point in time, which is some good news. Outside of the warning box, winds to perhaps 60 miles per hour. Um, Radar indicated tornado warning does continue for about 14 more minutes here, but not a lot of rotation on radar. We do see some straight line winds associated with this. There still could be perhaps maybe some embedded circulation, um, within this, perhaps maybe like right in here, just on the north side of Newcastle. But this would likely be, obscured in rain. I don't know if anyone would be able to see it. Don't look to see it. Be in your safe place for the time being. But that would kind of be the area that would have my eye kind of perhaps just on the north side of Newcastle. Have a little bit of a clear slot, perhaps right in here. Maybe kind of a bookend vortex, perhaps maybe a little bit on the backside of this. But either way, some broad rotation associated with it, as well as straight line winds, perhaps up to 60 miles per hour. There is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour winds, but if I'm being honest with you, I don't see 70 anymore. When the rotation was tighter, we had some RFD that was close to 70 miles per hour, which prompted the warning. But this is currently for Henry County, Indiana. And yeah, latest scan takes out any rotation entirely. I really don't see any rotation associated with this at all. Tornado warning still remains in effect. We may see this tornado warning hopefully canceled early. That would be fantastic news. New severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northern Wayne County, Indiana, north of Richmond. Richmond not in a severe thunderstorm warning. Randolph County currently not in a warning. We'll have to see if there's one that gets issued for Randolph or a special weather statement. Have to keep currently. And it looks like our tornado warning was canceled, which is some good. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Technically, it's a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, but if I'm being honest with you, I don't see a lot of. But I also don't see really the radar to back up 70-mile-per-hour winds. There could be some there near the surface, but I really don't think 70-mile-per-hour winds are occurring. There still could be some embedded pockets of some stronger winds. But 70-mile-per-hour winds, I just don't see it, even on in-dot cameras either. Especially on the northern end of the warning box. The rain's been falling straight down. So I have to see what gets issued here downstream. This storm is still moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. Areas downstream, gusty line of showers and embedded thunderstorms moving east towards the Columbus area, Jasper area, up to the Newcastle area. Likely going to have some gusty winds before you see the rain. There's a nice outflow boundary associated with these storms, and it's actually responsible for sparking some new storms out ahead of it as well. But an outflow boundary is rain-cooled air, kind of like a surface-based cold front that moves through ahead of the rain. So you're likely going to have some gusty winds, rain-cooled air, humidity goes away, and then the rain moves in thereafter. Here's the next scan on velocity getting ready to come in, load in. Winds up to 60 miles per hour on the new warning for Wayne County, northern Wayne County. North of I-70 Richmond, currently not in a severe thunderstorm warning. Currently, I don't see any signs of rotation within this anymore. Rotation could develop once again, but for right now, there is currently no rotation within this, which is good. The rotation has broadened out, which allowed the tornado warning to be canceled. But we're going to have to still storm as it moves towards the Moorland area, Dalton, Blount'sville, and eventually Randolph County, Winchester, Lynn, Saratoga have to keep an eye on those places as well. Just severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect currently. This one here is a considerable storm warning for winds up to 70 miles per hour. Although, if I'm being honest with you, I really don't think it's possible. The new downstream warning is winds for 60 miles per hour. I don't see the reports of velocity to back up 70-mile-per-hour winds at this point in time either. Not that there's some strong winds embedded within it. Widespread 70-mile-per-hour winds, I don't think, are occurring right now within this storm. Winds to 60 miles per hour, I think, are more plausible right now in the Newcastle area. If you're in Newcastle, let me know how strong the winds were. I'd be curious to know if anybody's in Newcastle. If you could let me know how strong the winds were there. Currently, this storm is moving east of Newcastle right now. Not quite in the clear yet, but you're close. As soon as this storm, the worst of it is almost over, getting ready to move into the Moorsland area towards the Modoc area in Winchester land. But it looks like some embedded pockets of straight line winds. The strongest winds do look to be near the Newcastle area, perhaps up to 60 miles per hour. Gusts right now coming into the Moorland area. I'm starting to wonder if this is starting to be below severe criteria or just at about baseline severe for this storm. And National Weather Service, Northern Indiana, go ahead and issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for Randolph County. Tornado possible, winds up to 60 miles per hour. Or this is for, never mind, this is still Indianapolis. I'm sorry. National Weather Service in Indianapolis is Randolph County. J County is IWX. So 60-mile-per-hour winds, but they're leaving the tornado possible tag on it. But the good news is I don't see a lot of rotation currently on this storm. So we're down to baseline severe thunderstorm warnings, which is good. Just the text back on the stream once we go back to baseline. But the good news is hopefully we don't see, another considerable warning again before this storm moves into Ohio. We really didn't expect any tornado warnings today. This was a little bit of I have to go. It's one of those events where we weren't forecasting tornadoes today, nor were we forecasting 80-mile-per-hour winds. Something that we did have a lot of DCAPE, which is downdraft cape, which is instability, which really supports really strong downdrafts and thunderstorms. Where when you get really heavy thunderstorms in a really moist environments like you have today, the instability aloft and just the overall ingredients aloft really do support really strong downbursts. And we have that today. It's part of the reason why we have a marginal risk in place in Indiana by the Storm Prediction Center for damaging winds. It's also kind of hard to judge on exactly, how high end an event will be ultimately, even on a good day. But this really is a good example today that just because we're in a marginal risk doesn't mean that severe weather, the risk is zero. That's absolutely not the case. If there's a risk for thunderstorms, lightning in itself is a hazard. While it doesn't make a storm severe, it's worth paying attention to and it's worth watching. A marginal risk, it doesn't mean zero. While it's not a high risk, a tornado outbreak or a derecho or something like that, the risk is still not zero. So anytime there's a risk for severe weather, whether it's a low end risk or a high end risk, it's always worth paying attention to, as Mother Nature still has a way to be Mother Nature, even in low end events. And today was a really good example of that, having a destructive severe thunderstorm warning and now several considerable warnings and now 2 tornado warnings today across central Indiana. So no matter what the risk is, it's always good to remain weather aware, especially in the springtime here in Indiana. So I'll probably have to go back and kind of dive into some mesoanalysis to see what led up to that and go from there. I'm curious to see what led up to that. I'm guessing, there's a little bit of wind shear aloft. I have to see what the Cape profiles were, the profiles around Indianapolis were with that D Cape, just what the overall dynamics were that led to that really significant storm. So I'm curious overall, as it really wasn't forecasted to be that significant here today. But there's always a risk for severe weather whenever we have any ingredients in place that could marginally support severe weather. While we're not going to see, high-end events all the time, when there's a risk for severe weather, it's because we have ingredients in place that could support severe weather. So it's always worth paying attention to all the time, especially here in Indiana. The weather can turn on a dime here in Indiana, and that's just part of living in the Midwest in springtime. So always good to remain weather aware in the springtime, and not just springtime. We can see severe weather time of the year here in Indiana. But currently right now, no tornado warnings in effect. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Winds to 60 miles per hour. The considerable severe thunderstorm warning is likely going to get trimmed back or canceled, with baseline severe thunderstorm warnings taking their place. 60-mile-per-hour winds. They are leaving the tornado possible tag on this, as this storm has a history of becoming kind of kinky along the leading edge, having some spin up areas of rotation on the leading edge. So we're going to monitor this storm before it heads into Darke County, Ohio. But we're going to continue to watch this storm, and we'll likely be live here until the storm exits Indiana, just because of its history of becoming tornadic and producing those damaging winds. Currently, right now, as I speak, see any rotation currently. But as you know, rotation and tornadoes can severe thunderstorms. So we are going to have to keep an eye on this line. If there's any shallow or any helicity, there is an outflow boundary along the leading edge. So what this could be doing on the surface is kind of acting as a little surface triple point, as we will. We have an outflow boundary that kind of occludes back a little bit near the Newcastle area. So that could, perhaps this outflow boundary is actually veering surface winds a little bit at the surface, a bit more veered in nature versus out of the southwest. Perhaps this outflow boundary is veering winds just a little bit on the north side as it occludes back into the storm. Perhaps that's just a theory, not definitive, but it is still kind of worth watching. Sometimes the really small details on marginal events are sometimes the most important details to keep an eye on during a low-end severe weather events, as it doesn't take much of a change to really change the scenario. But currently right now, Newcastle is in the clear. We do have some heavy thunderstorms, but the gust front is east of town. Newcastle, you're good. You can come out of your basements, your safe place, your closets, you're good. I was waiting a little bit to sound the all clear for you just because of this southern batch of rain. But right now, the strongest winds are ahead of you. The gust front is currently right here, coming into Cambridge City. This is an outflow boundary. So this is heavy rain, lightning. Do watch out for ponding. There could be some hydrologic concerns now, which would be in the way of ponding. But Newcastle, Indiana, you're in the clear. Downtown Muncie, just got a couple minutes left before we sound the all clear for you. But if this line has moved through your area, you guys are good. We have also a large special weather statement coming in for areas downstream and south of the severe thunderstorm warning. Winds up to 50 miles per hour. So this outflow boundary, likely going to see the gust front come through before you feel the rain, but that outflow boundary could have winds up to 50 miles per hour. And we're also quite dry ahead of this line. So watch out for dust being kicked up, maybe some gustnados, some dust being lofted ahead of this. We have a lot of farmers out in the fields. A lot of our fields are tilled with not a lot of vegetation growing in them yet, meaning if the soils are dry and if they're loose, this gust front can kick up some dust along the leading edge. So do be mindful of that. Watch for some dust getting kicked up if soils are dry in this area. A couple severe thunderstorm warnings still remain. Northern Wayne County, as well as all of Randolph County, including Wayne, Winchester, Indiana. 60-mile-per-hour winds. There is a tornado possible. But the good news is right now, I don't see a lot in the way of rotation. But we have been live now, going on 2 hours now today, covering our severe weather event here on the Rookers Outdoor Services Severe Weather live stream. Rookers Outdoor Services, based in Indianapolis. Have any tree damage or trees that you really want to get taken care of before the next severe weather event strikes, give them a call here in the Indianapolis area. They'll be happy to help you out with that. Rookers Outdoor Services, based in Indianapolis. Trees can become a liability, a hazard during severe weather. Branches can blow down, hit your house, fall on vehicles, or even be knocked over entirely during severe weather events. So give the professionals a call. Rookers Outdoor Services in Indianapolis. Take care of that for you. And thank you to them for making this live stream possible here today. Yeah, you're welcome, Hannah. This is why we do this here, even on marginal severe weather days. We're always watching the weather here at Indiana Weather Network, Indiana Weather Online. Yeah, we heard a couple other reports like that, Daisy. No debris was ever seen on radar. If there was a brief spin up, it must have been really brief because it wasn't really enough to really show on radar that it was on the ground. But we've heard a couple reports of a brief touchdown. I can't confirm that nor deny it. I personally have not seen any confirmed reports yet. So if you have any footage or anything like that, let us know. We have a reports post on our Facebook page. Briefly touchdown. Let us know in the comment section on Facebook. Feel free to leave a comment of a video or a footage or a photo of that, and we can relay that to the National Weather Service as well. That is great information. On the radar side of things, I can't confirm it as we did not have any kind of TDS or debris signature on radar. So if something did touch down, it was really brief in nature. Hopefully nothing touched down. Hopefully it was maybe a gust native, but can't confirm or deny. And as I don't know, I haven't seen those reports yet, official reports yet. Currently, right now, we do have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We're going to go ahead and switch back to baseline severe thunderstorm warnings. So the considerable warnings have been downgraded, which is good. I kind of figured that was going to happen. Currently, we're at a baseline severe thunderstorm warning, but we also have a tornado possible tag within this severe thunderstorm warning. As we could have, a brief spin up occur on the leading edge. This storm has a history of producing brief spin ups here today and pockets of rotation. We haven't seen anything as intense of what we saw in Marion County. Indianapolis and the airport just got hammered today. Confirmed winds of at least 70 miles per hour in Marion County about an hour ago with this storm. It was a lot more intense, and even pockets of up to 80 miles per hour just above the surface, which is crazy and a little bit unexpected here today. Definitely going to have to go back and look at mesoanalysis to see what led up to that. If we had ingredients to marginally support severe weather today, we issued a severe weather outlook earlier this morning. The risk in the yellow and the blue on our severe weather map were generally the same. We just had a little bit higher confidence in the yellow area for a storm going strong to severe, and this was kind of on the southern end of that. Northeast Indiana just didn't quite destabilize enough, but central Indiana had a little bit more sunshine come out, and that rapidly destabilized the atmosphere just enough to produce some robust thunderstorms. And then up in Michigan was able to destabilize and had some strong thunderstorms up there as well, but none of which were as strong as what we saw in central Indiana. So a little bit surprising, but again, a marginal risk for severe weather does not mean we don't have a risk for severe weather. Never downplay a risk for severe weather. And this is a perfect example of that, as any chance of severe weather is a day to be worth keeping an eye on. As it only takes one storm to impact your location. So always remain weather aware whenever there's a chance for storms in the area, but also anytime there's a severe weather risk, whether it's a 1 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5, always worth paying attention to. Thank you, Shannon, for that. Much appreciative. So we'll continue to watch this storm here as it moves towards Greenville and Darke County, Ohio, along the 49 corridor. We'll continue to watch this. Special weather statement now for Jay County, issued by the National Weather Service. Northern Indiana, winds up to 50 miles per hour for those locations there. Kind of on the northern end of this cell, kind of right in here. Could have some gusty winds, perhaps moving into southern Jay County, Portland, and south. Winds up to 50 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning for far northern Wayne County and all of Randolph County, 16 mile per hour winds, as well as tornado possible. The good news is, though, I see more evidence of straight line winds versus rotation in the storms right now. I hope that trend continues as it exits Indiana and into Ohio. But we're going to stay on here in case any rotation does redevelop along the leading edge. This line of storms has a history of doing so, and we're going to keep an eye on it here before we hop off entirely. But quite a bit of damage reports still kind of coming in from the Indianapolis area. A lot of tree damage I've seen. If you guys feel free to report that on the page. We have a couple of text posts out looking for damage, and we can relay that to the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. If you can do so safely. If you still have power lines down or anything like that, never approach down power lines. You never know if they're live or not. And it doesn't take, you don't always get a second chance around those power lines. So again, Never go around a down power line. Always treat a down power line if it's live. When in doubt, turn about and go the other way. Currently, this line of storms is now exiting the uh, county line now and coming pretty much into Randolph County and northern Wayne County. Southern Jay County, State Road 67 and east, primarily for the strongest winds associated with this. Winds up to 50 miles per hour for Jay County. Southern Jay County, primarily south of 67. And a nice gust front coming into the Lynn and Winchester area coming up on the 27 corridor. If you're in Richmond, Indiana, currently you're okay. Not in a special weather statement, nor are you in a severe thunderstorm warning. Strongest winds are north of town and severe portions of northern Wayne County, north of I-70, well north, a couple miles north of I-70. Strongest winds near the Randolph-Wayne County line as the storm moves east at about 40 miles per hour, moving towards Darke County, Ohio. Richmond, you could see some gusty winds, perhaps from this line, off to your south. We have special weather statements. Union, Fayette County, Franklin County, currently not in any for a special weather statement. But Brookville, Connersville, have to watch out. Could have special weather statement, issued downstream, gusty winds. These are below severe criteria and quite a bit too. They're winds up to 50 miles per hour, 50, 55. But not everyone will see those gusts of 50 to 55. So do keep that in mind as well. Think of it like gusts to 30, but up to 55 in some of those isolated pockets where you could see some mixing occurring. Currently, the strongest storm in the severe thunderstorm now moving into Randolph and northern Wayne County here in northeast Indiana. Winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as a tornado possible tag remaining on this severe thunderstorm warning. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorm, so do be on alert. If you spot a tornado, go at once into an interior room away from windows. The good news, a lot of rotation within this line. You can see what we see here is two bow echoes. This whole thing is kind of one big bow, but we have some embedded echoes here where we have straight line winds associated with this. These are now moving out more so, and I don't see really any winds holding hands anywhere up and down this line at the moment, which is good. Hopefully it stays that way. We don't want to see holding hands again. But for right now, if you're in the Newcastle area, Muncie, Indiana, you guys are good. All these storms are in Randolph County and northern Wayne County. Extreme portions in northern Wayne County, north of I-70. Think Hagerstown and north. Yeah, nothing. Still waiting on the storms to get to you. So a little bit to the west near Rushville, but they are moving your way. Currently, they're below severe criteria. So Richmond, right now, you're okay. I think you're mainly just going to get some gusty winds and maybe some heavy downpours or a rumble of thunder or two. The strongest storm is currently north of your location, primarily in Randolph County and extreme portions of northern Wayne County. Right where you see this bow echo, this big bow echo right in here. So if you are, let's say in Wayne County, if you're north of this line, kind of like right in here, this is where the strongest winds are likely to be, 50 to 60 miles per hour. And then if you're south of that line, anywhere in this blue box, winds up to 50 miles per hour. And also, torrential rainfall is occurring in a lot of these storms. These storms aren't moving overly fast, moving at about 35 to 40 miles an hour. So heavy downpours possible, could lead to ponding and such. So do the roadways, and we don't want any hydroplaning out there today. Jay County, Nathan, yeah, you're in a special weather statement for the Portland area, south of 67 generally for the strongest winds. All of Jay County is going to see a lot of wind with this. In fact, if you're mainly right in here, I think has the best chance of seeing some winds, perhaps up to 50 miles per hour. I don't know if they're quite that high, but the potential is there. You could have some stronger winds, perhaps mixed down to the ground up to 50 miles per hour. Now, the strongest winds are associated with the southern bow echo right in here as it moves towards Winchester, and Lynn along 27 towards Union City. this storm here has the best chance of winds up to 60 miles per hour, but I don't think everyone's going to see that. Winds, these storms are starting a little bit. I think there's pockets up to 60, but I think we're kind of on the 50 to 60 range versus 60 plus. Makes sense based on reports that we're seeing, but also velocity returns as well. But the hazard potential is there for up to 60, which is why we have a severe thunderstorm warning in place for northern Wayne County and all of Randolph County. Yeah, I got a couple, and then should be pretty near you. Skies are probably going to be getting pretty dark to your west. Might have a shelf cloud coming towards you as well. Well, oftentimes on these leading edge of straight line wind or outflow storms, you can have shelf clouds developing along the leading edge. The good news is, though, I see nothing tornado all within any of these storms here in Indiana. There's no rotation currently right now. Just some embedded pockets of some straight line winds. Tornado possible. The warning. The storm has a history of developing those short-lived areas of rotation. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But the good news now, I don't see any rotation right now. So hopefully that remains. We don't see any rotation develop again and hopefully it just weakens altogether as it moves towards Darke County, Ohio. Southern Mercer County and Darke County, Ohio would be the places to watch for this storm, primarily Darke County is where this storm is. If you guys have any damage, feel free to report. We do have a report post out on IWN, IWO, looking for specifically damage in Marion County, Indiana from earlier here today. Had a couple, had one destructive severe thunderstorm warning for winds up to 80 miles per hour. Now we're back to baseline severe thunderstorm warnings for 60 mile per hour winds. Severe thunderstorm warnings have 3 criteria levels associated with them. Baseline severe thunderstorm warning, 58 mile per hour winds or greater. Oftentimes you see a 60 mile per hour tag on those, or quarter-sized hail or greater. Once we get to 70 mile per hour winds, we get a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. And once we reach 80 miles per hour, that's when we see a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. And that's what we had here this afternoon, about an hour and a half ago over Marion County, near the Indianapolis area. We had confirmed reports of 70 miles per hour measured at the airport, as well as pockets of 80 miles per hour on the north side of Indianapolis near Riley Hospital and the Children's Museum there, kind of on the north side of Indy, 38th Street, I think it was, pretty close to that vicinity there. So if you have any damage, feel free to send that in and report it to us, and we can relay that to the National Weather Service. Be sure to use the TEL method, time, event, location, the time it occurred, where it occurred. Was it straight line wind, tornado? Make sure you have that with your damage report as well. Currently, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Indiana, Randolph County, northern Wayne County, north of I-70. So are currently in Randolph County, coming into Winchester and Lynn. Right now, they look to be weakening just a little bit, but there are pockets of winds perhaps up to 60 miles per hour. I don't think everyone is going to see 60 miles in this. We're kind of in the 50 to 60 mile per hour range. So we are seeing a gradual weakening trend with these storms, which is good. But lots of tree damage though across central Indiana. Getting reports of some trees across the region from these storms earlier here today. If you have any tree damage or structural damage that you want to pass along to us, feel free to do so if you can do so safely. And as a good reminder, the severe weather threat doesn't end after the storm ends. There still could be damage, sharp nails, down power lines. All these hazards exist long after severe weather gone expires. So do be mindful of that as well, and never approach down power lines. When in doubt, turn about and go the other way. Always treat down power lines as if they are live. Currently, the strongest portion of the storm moving east at about 40 miles per hour, coming near Union City, Winchester, Indiana, along US 27. Right where you see this bow echo here, could have some gusty winds, 50 to 60 miles per hour on the back end of that. Special weather statement south of 67, primarily for Portland. Right now, this section of the storm is weakening a little bit. I think the greatest risk for some gusty winds exists for far southern Jay County, Indiana, southeast of 67, associated with this portion of the cell right here, which could skirt the Randolph Jay County line as it moves towards Darke County, Ohio. Nothing yet in Richmond. Richmond, you're currently not in a severe thunderstorm warning if you're in central southern Wayne County. But could have some gusty winds, perhaps up to 30 miles per hour. This section of the line, though, looks to be pretty weak in nature, which is some good news. Oh, how long till it reaches Winchester? Probably in the next 5 minutes or less. It is just outside of town. So coming through farmland right now, Unionport and Huntsville, as well as Carlos and Bloomingport is kind of where it's at right now, just about 2.5 miles west of town. So getting very close to Winchester as well as Lynn, only a couple miles outside of town, moving along 36, 32 right now, coming up on 27. Looking south, special weather statements in effect for southern Indiana, central Indiana. Just some gusty, heavy showers and thunderstorms. These are all subsevere and have remained subsevere pretty much all afternoon, but heavy rainfall rates, small hail, gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour. Can't be ruled out in any stronger storm. But once we start losing the sun and the daylight goes down, we're not going to destabilize much more, and we're going to see that severe weather risk go down a little bit as well. Right now, the strongest portion of the storm is going to be coming near Winchester and Lynn. Winds 52, 60 miles per hour. And then once this storm enters Ohio, that'll likely conclude our stream here today. But we'll likely end our stream here once it enters Ohio. So the severe weather risk is almost over here for Indiana. Could have some gusty thunderstorms from here on out, but we are almost ready to conclude our stream here for Indiana. And this storm in Winchester, let me know what your winds are doing. If they're below 60 miles per hour, we may end a little bit early. For right now, they really look to be closer to 50 miles per hour versus 60 miles per hour. I really don't see 60 mile per hour winds anymore in these storms coming to Lynn or Winchester. They look to be largely below severe criteria, but I'd be curious to know what you're seeing. But currently, right now, these storms look to be producing winds 40 to maybe 58 miles per hour. Yeah, the gust front isn't quite to you yet, Caleb, but it is close, about a mile or so out of town. Probably about 1 to 2 minutes out from coming into Winchester. Still under a severe thunderstorm warning. but we're just a couple minutes away from ending our stream here. Severe thunderstorms warnings have been trimmed back. Tornado possible still remains for Randolph County, although I see no rotation in this storm currently, or at least nothing that is of concern at this point in time. Just some pockets of some straight line winds, perhaps up to 60 miles per hour, but I don't think everyone's going to see 60-mile-per-hour winds. But if you're in Randolph County, let me know what the winds are doing. I'd be curious to know what you're seeing. If this is truly below severe criteria, which is my theory, I think this is below severe criteria. Torrential rainfall is going to be the primary hazards here with any of these storms. Yeah, velocity really hasn't changed too much. Yeah, not windy. It is close. Gust front should be coming into Winchester and Lynn really any moment. It's about a mile or so out of town. So let me know what you're seeing there. My hunch is that it's below severe criteria. But likely gonna. My hunch is that this is below severe criteria. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few wind reports of the 45, 50 mile per hour range, but I don't see 60 mile per hour winds. But I don't think widespread 60 mile per hour winds are occurring. I think we're below that. And yeah, just to confirm that, the National Weather Service in Wilmington issuing special weather statements, and that is for wind up to 40 miles per hour. So yeah, kind of confirming what I'm seeing on radar. Winds are below severe criteria. So with that being said, cloud coming into Winchester there, nothing tornadic, no wall clouds or anything like that. Right now, this line of showers and thunderstorms is it. Could have a few lingering showers behind this line, but after this line comes through, the risk of strong thunderstorms is over. The severe weather risk is quite low the remainder of the evening. Could be a brief gust to 50 miles per hour, maybe perhaps 60, but widespread severe weather is not expected. This storm has weakened below severe criteria. Severe thunderstorm warning will likely be allowed to expire. Downstream warnings are going special for winds up to 40 miles per hour, 40. So with that being said, this will conclude our screen as this storm has weakened below severe criteria. National Weather Service in Wilmington special weather statements, and that should carry you through the rest of the evening here. Heavy showers and thunderstorms along a line extending from Jay County all the way down to about Harrison County. Could have some gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour. Widespread severe weather is not expected to the remainder of the night, but we will continue to watch radar here the rest of the evening. So if you are In this zone here, watch out for some gusty or some heavy showers and thunderstorms. Widespread severe weather not expected. And you guys are in the all clear if you're northwest of this line. If you're outside of southeast or far eastern Indiana along 27. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and hop off here and end our stream. Thank you for watching. And we will catch you next time. We'll continue to monitor things here behind the scenes as well. Have a good evening.